This was posted in the 2X chromosome subreddit. And I think that this is a good conversation, like we had a couple of weeks ago, where we would ask the question, why do women have no self preservation? This woman says, why do women put up with so much? We need to discuss this. She says, I'm on several different mom, baby, woman focused subreddits, and sometimes I get completely overwhelmed by how much insane women put up with from their partners. I know that Reddit is a skewed test group and that a lot of people come here specifically to ask advice about crazy situations. Still, it's insane. It's not like normal relationship stuff. It's my partner clearly doesn't care about me at all, but I want to make it work stuff. And listen, zero shade to anyone. I know that there is a plethora of reasons why someone would want, choose, feel safer staying with these types of partners. It just makes me unfathomably sad, especially the post where the woman genuinely think their partner's abhorrent behavior is normal. We have to do better as parents and a society to raise our boys better and to truly give our daughters the skills and emotional support to know they should never put up with such horrible behavior. There isn't really a point on this post. I'm just sad about it. She says, edit. Wow, thanks for the great discussions. It's so good to see so many people recognize how crappy these situations are and the discourse around it. Though they aren't always happy conversations, the solidarity is nice to see. I have, however, seen several people comment about how these posts aren't indicative of most relationships. I just want to say that the point of my post was not that I thought or think all men or all relationships are bad. The post is about having empathy for women who have been or are in bad situations or think they are in good situations and for unfortunate reasons are unable to see their partner's red flags and be sad about it. And, when you read these things out loud, like sometimes I skim a post before reading it live, like with y'all, and I am like flabbergasted at the things that some women are typing. Like, as you type this all and you see this all listed out, you don't have anything going through your brain like, maybe I should take a step back and reevaluate myself. Is this how I really want to go into the future? Could I really see myself growing old with this person? That's some of the things that we have to like ask ourselves before, like really taking these steps, like getting married and having babies, because some of these things are fairly egregious. Okay, let's read some of this comment. This name, this username is kind of hilarious. This is called "But F's Are Us." Okay, she says, "I'm in the Bible Belt, and that's pretty much the norm here, especially if you're working class. For my area, it goes like this: both people work. Woman is a nurse or a teacher. Woman wants to get married and have kids. They graduate from college and get married. Woman does everything around the house and all of the kin keeping and planning and scheduling for both partners. First kid by 22 to 26. Woman now does 99% of the child rearing and cheekily calls dad's parenting babysitting. Dad complains that his freedom is getting encroached on, even though he never willingly lifts a hand to help, and he gets to go on guys' trips every year. And mom never gets to go on a trip unless the kids are there. My partner's mom was pissed that I refused to do kin keeping. She said it was my job to make sure she got a present from her son on Mother's Day and to make sure he called once a week and showed up to family dinners. I told her absolutely not. That was something she needed to work on with her son if that's something that she wanted out of their relationship. That's good. Set those boundaries. Hopeful Kitty says, I refuse the kin keeping role. If he wants to talk to his parents, he's a big boy. I speak with and see my parents as often as I want. There is nothing stopping him from doing the same. Luckily, he thinks the idea of that being my responsibility is absolutely insane. He will even get Christmas gifts for my family specifically from him because he takes gift giving very seriously. His family never celebrated Mother's or Father's Day. On Sunday, we were at my folks' eating dinner, and I asked if he called his dad. No, why? because it's Father's Day, or maybe, oh, maybe I'll call him later. If his mother wants to blame me, she can, but it's not on me. I didn't raise him. Mensa Witch says, I did that in the beginning, but I stopped. Why? Because he didn't give a damn either. My significant other has 5 grandkids. I have 2. We got together long after our respective kids were grown, and I can't explain it for the life of me. I don't know why men are like this. He remembers my birthdays, Mother's Day, Christmas, even Valentine's Day, but he doesn't seem to get invested at all in his own kids and grandies. That's terrible. Is completely different with me. My grandkids live 200 miles away, and I absolutely live for the moments I can see and be with them 5 to 6 times a year for a week or 2 each visit. His all live within 10 to 15 minutes across town, and they rarely interact. He doesn't even remember the grandkids' birthdays and will commonly miss his grown kids' birthdays. How do you forget your own kids and grandchildren's birthdays? But why are you with this person? He doesn't seem like a good person. She says, in the beginning, I tried to keep him abreast of their upcoming special days, but I realized he didn't do much even when he did know. Eventually, I gave up. They're not the huggy wuggy or affectionate type of family like mine is. So I said, oh, well, if you don't care, then I don't either. And to be honest, I got tired of their apathy and ungratefulness when I did go behind the scenes and get gifts for him to give. But I always go all out for my kids' special days, and he doesn't mind at all. However, I gotta say, my bunch is always extremely grateful, and they make a big deal out of thanking us profusely no matter what we get them. It's as different as night and day. Um, I don't understand it. I don't know if it's a man thing or if it's just my man's thing. Hopeful Kitty says, my dad doesn't know my birthday, then gets mad if we don't do a big thing for Father's Day. My birthday is June 30th, 2 weeks after Father's Day, last day of the month, right before a major holiday that is literally named for the date it is. I don't know why he can't remember it, but it really bothers me that he doesn't care enough to commit it to memory. A lot of these men are simply going to end up in the old man Mojo Dojo Casa house, from what I'm reading. Accessible Beige says, when I was a kid, my dad used to ask me to remind him how old I was. And it's not like it was a non custodial parent who lived in another state and saw me twice a year. My parents were married. He told me himself more than once that I was very planned for and a wanted child. And I don't have any siblings, it's just me. And in my case, that's not enough. His birthday and my birthday fell in the same month. Plus, he was a teacher, so he knew what ages his students were based on their grade level. So why could he never remember my age? He's dead now, so I guess I'll never know. Some of these things that these dads or these men do is just extremely sad. And when you read it out loud, or when men do come through and like make comments, I don't understand how they don't understand that this is deplorable. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. You guys jump in the comments and let me know what you think about this one. Why do you think women put up with so much? Let me know. What are your theories? This woman posted this short post in the Am I the A-hole thread. And when women post in these Am I the A-hole threads, they're simply looking for validation for feeling normal human emotions. She says, am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my nephew on my day off? Absolutely not. You're not the a-hole. But let's read your really short post. She says, so I have this one glorious day off a week, and my sister think it's prime time for free babysitting. I work like a dog all week and just want to binge watch trash TV and eat cereal. She says I'm selfish and that family is supposed to help family. Am I the bad guy for not wanting my one day off to turn into toddler wrestling? Absolutely not. You deserve to have your one day off per week to do whatever you want to do. I don't care if it's rearrange your socks. I don't care if it's just sleeping. Your sister does not have claim to your one day off. That is your glorious time to do whatever the F you want. And this is where we need to continuously talk about boundaries. because sometimes people feel entitled to your free time. And this is one of the things that happens. They see a woman that might be child free, she might be single, and they feel like they need to encroach on her time, energy, or resources because she should not have any free time. But that sister, she decided that she wanted to have babies, so she can ask you periodically to help, but that is not her time to lay claim to. Absolutely not the a-hole. All right, some of the comments. Not the a-hole. She's the one that had the kid, not you. How is she helping you whilst demanding you burn yourself out to help her? Exactly. You don't have to burn yourself out for anybody, any company, anything. You can save some of yourself for yourself. Al Human says, valid point. What is sis doing to help OP get ahead in life? Sounds like sister's thinking is very one sided. New Alina says, I feel like it would only be fair for her to come over on her day off and clean his house, wash his dishes, and do his laundry, maybe mow the lawn too. I mean, family, right? And I don't know if it was a girl or a guy, but I'm assuming that this is a woman, because who's asking brothers to give up their one free day? Like, I wouldn't even thought of that. Main 302 says, I'm guessing she thinks that taking care of her own kid on that day is relieving her family of the burden. Disastrous Focus says, well, OP could play with a toddler while sis cleans the OP's house, does the laundry, and prepares a nice home cooked dinner. That sounds fair. Think she'd go for it? Fancy Code says, you can always guess the truly selfish person in these posts. It's the one calling a family member selfish for not making a reasonable sacrifice for them. I'm not sure which one she's talking to. Which one is the selfish one? I'm thinking that the sister who thinks that she could take all of the other sisters' free time, but I'm not sure what Fancy Cold is saying. Main 302 responds with, it's not unreasonable to ask once in a while if there's something important going on. It's quite another to rudely expect it. I Forgotten Word says, but it is unreasonable to expect the OP to do it and call him or her selfish for not wanting to. Remote Button Eater says, right? Like, if both parents work, they've been struggling with intimacy since the baby was born. They haven't been out together in months or don't get days off together, and it's their anniversary and they're going out. I can see it. It doesn't hurt to ask, but also asking implies a choice, which OP made, and so it should be respected. I can't babysit my nieces because they're both 1,000 miles away. And even if they didn't, I'd only watch the one that's still pre-crawling infant because my house is way too full of corners, glass, breakable things, and expensive electronics. This person down at the bottom, Animated Hokey, says, okay, well, parents don't get days off from, being parents. So now, I am a parent, and it is true that parents don't get days off, but I willingly became a parent. No one made me get a parent. So just because I'm a parent and I made that choice to become a parent doesn't mean that I'm entitled to someone else taking my child from me on their day off. People got to get past this entitlement thing. It is not somebody else's responsibility to care for my children. If I ask and they say yes, then cool. But otherwise, these kids are mine. I created them. I'm responsible for them. Chipped Teacup says, these days, parents complain there's no village while never contributing to one themselves. You can't just be take, take, take. There has to be give and take. There can't be just a consistent entitlement to somebody else's time, energy, and resources. And I will keep saying that because you have to drill it into your head that you should be allowed to pour into yourselves, pour into others as you have extra, but you have to be able to keep some of that for yourself and have boundaries. Two Dogs Life says, years ago, I read an article about very smart parents faced with dealing with childcare over the summer. So the parents formed their own co-op in a way of 5 families. And thus each parent took a day off every 2 weeks and took care of the kids. The kids had a blast because all the different adults had different ideas on what made summer special. fishing, biking, picking berries, beach, etc. And the parents had free childcare over the summer. However, as OP is working 6-day weeks and really needs to decompress on their day off, there's no reason for them to be called up for childcare duties. Sister, if she was smart, would be exchanging childcare with other parents so everyone got some time. See, people are thinking outside the box, and I read these so that you can see what other people are saying. So go ahead and weigh in on community, the village, what you think about this, and talk about boundaries and how you may have had issues setting them in the past or thinking that you should be able to blow through other people's boundaries. Jump in the comments, like, comment, share. The way the economy is going, the way the employer employee relations are going, I thought you guys would find this screenshot to be funny. I cross posted it already in my BurbNBougie subreddit, so they've already been talking. So I want to see what y'all would say. It says, "Hello, all. Happy Wednesday. I'm not so happy this morning. Yesterday, 3 of you submitted your 2 weeks' notice. All 3 of you claimed it was because of a better opportunity, not even thinking about the fact that some of your coworkers have lives outside of this job and children. Your better opportunities, doubtful, we pay you all fair wages, are really worth affecting your team members' quality of life. I myself have children, and instead of being at their band recital this week, I will have to be sitting at work posting job offers on Indeed instead. This is outrageous. You all need to speak amongst yourselves and plan these things out so you don't leave a company high and dry all at once. The lack of consideration from employees I previously had, the lack of consideration from employees I previously had a different impression of is astounding. The new rule in our employee handbook will be updated to now requiring a 3 months notice, since that's how long it took to train you. You will give 3 months notice and train your replacement in the meantime. And your 3 months notice will serve as your consent for your base pay to be lowered by $6 an hour. Since you will be leaving, your reduction in pay should be no issue. That's how this works from now on. You can thank your subordinates for this. You can also thank them for the extra 30 hours of overtime per week you will be assigned to until I find new hires and they are fully trained. Oh, this man, the audacity. If somebody is getting fired, do you give them 3 months notice? If somebody is, no, absolutely not. People do not get this much notice when you are doing layoffs or whatever, right sizing or whatever. So it is a privilege that you get this 2 weeks. And if I am quitting a job, these people are my team anymore. If I'm quitting a job, they're not my team. This is up to you, the business owner, to jump in and fix things. It's your business. Nobody else has a stake in it. And I'll be damned if I work extra 3 months and take a lower that kind of choked me up a little bit there. Sorry. And take a lower wage simply because I'm putting in my notice. And it will not be a 3 months notice. This dude is out of his mind. All right, some of the comments. Account Necessary says, "I'm sure they'll be getting 1-day notices going forward. What a lunatic." And then Euphoric Duty says, "Department of Labor investigator and employment lawyers have entered the chat." Jamus Beerchin says, "At my workplace, I have to give 6 months notice, but I can easily reduce it to 1 month. But they have to give me 6 months too. If they want to let me go, they can't reduce it unless I agree. By law, they are not allowed to cut my pay. Thank you, Germany." That's cool. Radical Mindset, "That's a fair trade." I agree because it goes both ways. Mama Sa says, "By law everywhere. This supervisor is unhinged." Jamus Beerchan says, "I heard in the US your job does not need to give you 2 weeks notice, if at all. 2 weeks notice at all." Mama Sa says, "Also true, capitalism gives all the power to employers, industrials, not labor, in the purest definition." And then Jumi says, "Unless some big company needs help, and begs the government for money, suddenly they're all socialists. Resent the Priori says, delusional AF. 3 months of less pay and overtime. She's about to get no notice. This person says, yeah, I'd swear with the note, I'd answer this with the notice and make it as short as possible. She better have sent that nonsense to the EOD. The concrete ghost simply laughs, saying, giving notice is just being nice. If they have a job waiting, they don't even have to show up tomorrow. I wouldn't show up to such a stinky place. Smells like lawsuits. Eat Some Sketty says, sounds like if 3 people quit at once, they might want to start looking in the mirror. If employees are jumping ship in mass, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. So, will they be giving employees 3 months' notice of firing? No, America. West Ruin says this is exactly right. Did they hire a new manager who enjoys torturing their underlings? Have people been complaining about the rate of pay? There has to be a reason. Radical Mind says, 1, Department of Labor will be notified, and 2, I'm still submitting a 2-week notice. You guys go ahead and weigh in. You heard the post. What are your thoughts? Jump in the comments, like, comment, share.